Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Trinidad and Tobago Music Festival, celebrating 15 years already. Wow, that's just incredible. So joining us for this evening, we have from Trinidad and Tobago, Riyadh Rahaman. Did I get your name, Riyadh?
Yep, that's right. You got it right. I'm great. I'm great.
Okay, great. And we also have director, and please forgive me, I don't want to mispronounce your name. I don't want to, because I hate when people mispronounce my name. My name is Jarrod Butts. So, and you are Matthieu Maunier-Rossi?
That's fine. You can call me Matthieu. I'm fine with that.
I'll call you Matthieu. That's great. I can live with that. And you directed TROIS MACHETTES.
Absolutely, or Three Blades in English.
Blades. And it won an award, if I'm not mistaken, at the Yellow Fever Film Festival.
Absolutely. We won the award for Best Photography, and we were very happy for that.
Well, the cinematography is excellent, I have to say. And I found it to be a highly absorbing film. And, but, okay, my question is, just a reminder that we are going to be asking people to weigh in if they've got any comments or questions regarding the movies for today, and so on. So we're going to see if we can get some feedback from that in that regard. So Matthieu, let's start with you. TROIS MACHETTES. We are talking about life in Haiti, and what is it's about sort of conflict, if you will, of dreams, of ambitions, and desires involving the three main characters. Benjamin, who's the youngest, if I'm not mistaken, and Dobril,
absolutely,
who wants to go to Chile, and I think the father is there as well, and he is kind of constrained by what is going on around him, and he and his second, well, his eldest son, they're in conflict. I'm just curious as to what spurred you to direct this film.
Well, actually, I've been spending a lot of time in Haiti. I'm obviously not from Haiti myself. I'm French. I'm from Paris. I'm living in Paris, but I've had the opportunity to live like a year and a half in Haiti. I've been working there. I've been teaching there because I've been working in a movie school there. So I've been teaching like what it means to organize a movie shoot and these kind of things in a school in Haiti. I've been working for NGOs in Haiti. So I've had the very, very lucky opportunity to live there and live with Haitian people there and live with Haitian families and stay in Haitian houses and everything that a French white foreigner tourist doesn't see in Haiti. So I've had the opportunity to really understand and meet what every generation in Haiti is facing nowadays. So my intention, what I wanted to do, is to show the reality of Haiti today and to show that every generation had different wills and dreams and expectations, and that is something that is really universal. Wherever you are living now, whatever the country you're living in, you have different dreams and different expectations, and that is exactly the same in Haiti. And if you're following the media and the information news and the information channels, you often see Haiti as a desperate place with issues linked to poverty and miseducation. Whereas you can tell stories that are universal. There are people in Haiti nowadays that are living exactly the same thing that us in Europe, in Northern America, in Central America, in any kind of country less desperate than Haiti. We are living exactly the same thing, right? So I really wanted to cut what the media are telling about Haiti and show the reality of Haiti today. That was a very, very, very first intent of the movie.
You know, I'm curious about that because would you say that over the years. I mean, we've had only just a kind of one-dimensional view of Haiti. And clearly, Haiti is a lot more diverse and a lot more intricate in terms of human interaction than we would originally think. Would I be right in that assessment, Matthieu? Matthieu, are you there? Matthieu. Okay, Matthieu, we'll see if we can get back to you later. Let's see if we can have a discussion with, sorry about that, Matthieu. We'll see if we can have a discussion with Riyadh here now. So Riyadh.
Yep, I'm here.
How you doing? So
I'm great.
Your film is Red Alert, Crime in Trinidad and Tobago. What I find unique about your film, though, is that it has virtually no dialogue.
Right.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, I think from the beginning, when I was conceptualizing it, I guess when I was like thinking it in my head and everything, I kind of realized like with the, I guess, emotional aspect of the film and the emotions that I wanted to get from audiences, I kind of felt that I didn't need to speak to convey the emotions that I wanted to, you know? And as a filmmaker as well, I mean, I like to challenge myself to do things that I've never done before. And as well as for my audiences, because I make YouTube videos and I post my films and stuff on my YouTube channel. So for my audience as well, I just wanted to, I guess, give something new to them. So I said I would try out the silent film instead. So, and I think one of the best comments I got was that this film spoke so much without even having to speak in the film, you know, it spoke volumes without even having to say a word, you know, so.
No, I thought that was a rather ambitious undertaking with what you did with that movie. The thing about it is that crime in Trinidad and Tobago, you know, they say that the crime affects us all over the world, no matter where we are. I mean, we could be in one of the, you know, in the safest gated communities, and it would still happen. It would still take place. Trinidad and Tobago, of course, going through our own, you know, sort of craziness with criminal activity and so on. So, do you think that even now, I mean, obviously it is a real issue. It is a human issue, and I think there are those among us who would say that we're suffering from some kind of fatigue with respect to, you know, the killings and the robberies and so on. And my personal take on it is that only when it happens to you does it really
only when it hits home.
Only when it hits home. Only when it hits home are you keenly aware of what's going on. And you said that and what you said also in the film, I thought it was rather interesting, was that someone's paranoia could be someone else's reality. Could you elaborate on that, please?
So I guess when I was thinking of the film, I guess I kind of had it from like two perspectives, you know, like two people, you know, like a family member or someone that you love going out and maybe not returning, they're taking a little bit longer, or their phone, they're not picking up your calls. So that's like that paranoia aspect of it, you know, which I think most of us kind of go through, you know, with someone who's out and it's 3 a.m. or something like that, you know, obviously you can't go to bed until they're home, you know what I mean? So that's like the whole paranoia aspect of it, like you're paranoid about them coming back. And for most people, the case is that paranoia is real, you know, that they are in fact okay wherever they are, and they actually do come home and everything goes on fine, you know. But in Trinidad, and even like you said, the entire world, I mean, there are people from another perspective, there's someone else who's going through that same thing, you know, and that could actually happen, you know, something, you know, like one perspective is the paranoia, and then someone else's perspective is that like the thing that you actually thought might happen actually did happen, you know. I mean, and you hear in Trinidad that murders and robberies and all these stuff actually happens on the news and everything. So yeah, the reality, in terms of the reality part of it, is that it can actually happen to someone, you know. So my paranoia, in which they actually do come back, might be someone else's reality where they might not actually come back, you know.
And that was enunciated in the film with dramatic effect, because your brother in the movie comes back, but his brother's friend, on the other hand, turns out to be a victim. So that kind of drove the point home. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking with Riyadh Rahaman, as well as Matthieu Maunier-Rossi, who directed TROIS MACHETTES, Three Blades. Before we encountered some sort of technical glitch there, Matthew. I was just asking you that. Oh, and by the way, if you wanted, if the general public, if they want to join in the discussion, they can do so right now. If anybody out there has any questions or anything like that, please feel free to join in, and we'll have a nice little discussion. So, Matthew, yes. So we were talking about the situation in Haiti. Obviously, we know that it's a far more diverse and far more intricate place than we would originally assume it to be. And would I be right? Would I be right in saying that? Would I be right in saying that Haiti is more than just what we see in the news?
Of course it is. I mean, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this movie is to do something different than when the news is telling it, right? I've been lucky enough to travel the Caribbean, and I spent more than a year and a half in Haiti working and living. I would not say like living like Asian people, but not living like a tourist, like a white foreigner tourist. I've been living in Haiti, right? And the difference between what the news are telling you and what the people are living in the country is like tremendous. And this is one of the main reasons I wanted to do this movie, right? Is to show that beyond the despair and the poverty and what the news present to you as third world issues, you can find in Haiti like characters and behaviors and issues and dreams that are completely universal. And if me, as a French foreigner, white guy, could understand that in Haiti, it was important enough to be shown in a movie, all right? Haiti is not what the media is telling us, all right? Haiti is a rich, very dense, with a huge cultural background, society and democracy and place, and the people there are much more than what the media are telling us. And the main reason for this movie to happen, for my short film to be, is to show a different version of Haiti than what the media are telling us. It's the first goal of what I wanted to do.
So here we are. I'm just curious. Why three blades? Why trois machettes? Why the blades? Is that part of the culture, part and parcel of Haitian culture? Would you care to edify the public with respect to that, please?
Well, I'm a white guy from France, from Europe. So obviously, when I traveled to Haiti the first time, I was flabbergasted and very surprised and very emotionalized by what I saw, by the culture and the people and everything. One of the main things that struck me was the presence of these blades, the machettes, everywhere in everyday life. All right, it's like in Europe you've got the Swiss knife. I don't know if you see what I mean. It's like a tool for everyday life. You've got it everywhere. You use it everywhere. And in Haiti, Asian people use machettes everywhere. But me, coming from a European background, the machettes, the blades, had a completely different meaning. I could meet people in Haiti that were using these machettes as everyday, as one of the everyday tools. But me, as a European guy, saw these machettes as weapons, as blades, as bloody tools. And so there was a discrepancy and a gap between what I felt as a foreigner discovering Haiti and what was the reality of Haiti itself. So I thought it was a nice way to tell a story, to tell a fiction about Haiti, was to tell the difference between, well, people in Haiti don't see machettes as weapons. They see them as tools. And if you use them in narratively as a weapon, you completely change the context and the background of the story. And actually, the first title of the movie I was trying to make was The Birth of a Weapon. All right, so it was the time when the machete, which was the tool, became a weapon. This was one of the first intent I had when making the movies, making the movie, I'm sorry.
Well, we notice the imagery because we can see that the machete is used for multiple uses, not just for cutting, but for tilling the soil and so on. How did because the performances by the actors were quite believable and quite honest. How did they respond to you? You call yourself a white guy, a European, a Frenchman, and that's what you are. But how did they respond to you? How did they take to your direction and everything?
Well, I think it was a two-phase process. The first thing was that I never denied that the fact that I was a foreigner and I was white and I came from Europe. So my point of view was obviously the point of view of a foreign guy. So this was the first step. I never denied that. I tried to stick to the Haitian reality as much as I could. Every Haitian technician I hired in the crew, I asked if when they were reading the script, what they felt was like a cliche that some French white guy would tell about Haiti and what was true about Haiti. And step by step, we erased all the cliches that I had felt as a French guy, as a white guy from Haiti. That was the first step. And the second step was to stick as much as I could to the reality of Haiti. What struck me, what moved me, even as a foreigner traveling to Haiti, was the depth and the richness and the greatness of Haiti, of the culture, of the people, of the way they were welcoming foreigners and all these kind of things that media, once again, that media were not talking about. And I wanted to tell the story, the sincere story of what it meant to be an Haitian guy today in Haiti. So I tried as much as I could to erase of kind of foreigner, French, European, well, Northern criteria, and try to focus on what was reality, the core of Haitian identity. I have no idea if I truly managed to do that. This was the process. I wanted to erase every kind of foreign interference in what was Haiti. I wanted to show the real truth of Haiti. This was the main purpose of what I was trying to do.
I see. So let's see if we can talk. Let's see if we can chat with Riyadh a bit. Riyadh, when did you start making movies? What was your? Obviously, it's your passion, but what prompted you to get into filmmaking as a budding filmmaker? What was it? What was it that lit the spark, if you will?
Well, I would say like when I was around 11 years old, I think that's when I really discovered YouTube and like how people post videos and have their communities and people watching their videos and stuff like that. And that prompted me to make my own channel. And back then, I guess watching a lot of YouTubers, it kind of motivated me to start making videos of my own, and I do a lot of comedy, I make a lot of jokes and everything. And so I started doing that. I started posting like skits on YouTube and stuff like that, 12, 13, 14 years old. And I guess as time progressed, I guess this hobby that I had, like my parents realized it's not really going away, I guess I didn't just stop YouTube after a year or two, and when I was posting my videos and everything, I'd have one or two people, family and friends telling me like, hey, you're really talented, with your sketches and stuff like that you're doing with your family in your house and stuff like that. And I guess it really just grew over time. And I think around 14, 15, I'm like, I kind of want to do this. I could see myself doing this like as a job and actually like as a career, and that saying of like, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I've really stuck to that. And as time progressed, again, with my YouTube channel and everything around 2017, with the videos I've been posting, I guess that was my first spark of growth and everything, because I had around 100 and something subscribers. And yeah, I kept making videos and I kept trying new things in terms of different things that I wanted to create to this new audience that has found me on YouTube, and it's grown to the thousands right now. And that's another aspect of it as well. My fans on my YouTube channel and Facebook page and on social media that are watching my filmmaking journey and everything, and always say to me like, we'd love to see a movie of yours, in the future, like, you're really talented and keep going. We can't wait to see what new stuff you bring. So with this film as well, this is something that I just wanted to do to give to my audience. And like I said, this hobby never stopped. And again, with the support of my family and friends, and now a whole community that like watches my videos and stuff like that, it's really prompted me to just keep going, you know? So yeah, I guess
Do
that's how
you,
it started.
do you have a favorite filmmaker?
Favorite filmmaker? Well, I guess recently with Parasite winning the Oscars, sweeping the Oscars, I've been watching a lot of that director, Bong Joon-ho. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
his work.
Oh,
May I ask why would you, why him? Why that particular director?
Well, I guess just like everyone, when I saw Parasite won, uh, just swept the Oscars, I guess I've never really watched a lot of foreign films. I've watched a couple, you know, Spanish and a couple other ones, but that really prompted me to watch that film. And then, I mean, that director, I just like, I don't know, I just really love
You
that
just
movie, and
thought
I'm like,
you're fascinated. So
yeah.
what's next? What's next for you? What's next for you, Riyadh? What are your future plans and what are your future movies? Have you got something grand, ambitious? What are you thinking of?
Well, I guess cliche, but I guess bigger and better. You know, a lot of stuff that I've done. You know, my previous film festival submissions that's got selected were, including this film that I've done. I mean, those are no budget. Those are, as you can see, it's in my house and everything, using my, that's my cousin in the film and stuff like that, and I'm filming it myself. And recently, last year, I went to the States. I actually did a 6-week intensive filmmaking course, and there is where I really got to. We made 2 films, 2 short films for our course, and I was able to like. That's the first time I've been on a set, you know, and like with actual crew and like and stuff like that, and just being able to purely just direct actors and stuff like that instead of having to worry about like camera and lighting and all that kind of stuff. So, and I really enjoyed that, and I love to go back and be on sets and stuff like that. So, I mean, I have, you know, I have 2 short films that I am working on, that I definitely want to make bigger productions, you know, and have a lot more people involved and stuff like that. And I definitely want to try and, I guess, get myself out there more internationally, you know, because I guess
So the
I've
sky's the
conquered
limit for you.
yeah, I guess I've conquered the local film industry right now, you know, last year, year before, and stuff
Right.
like that. So I want to definitely reach out and
Yeah.
put my work into even more festivals internationally and stuff like that, you know?
Well, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Matthew, I just wanted to ask you something. And again, I'm just sending out an invitation to anybody out there who's watching. You can weigh in with your questions, comments, or whatever. You can do so right now. The floor is open. The floor is yours. Matthew, are you thinking of making another movie about the Haitian experience? Would you like to do it? Would you like to do another movie?
Well, absolutely, yes. It's more than what I want to do, it's what I plan to do. All right, so I'm working right now on a TV series. It's going to be a 6 episode, six by 52 minutes. This is the kind of a format we do in France. It's going to be a series about Haitian contemporary characters that are going to be facing the roots of history with a capital H. I mean, what's fascinating me about Haiti once again is that in the 1500 years, like you had Spanish and European people entering Haiti and trying to find gold in Haiti. And nowadays, 500 years later, it's exactly the same situation that's happening again with French mining companies, Canadian mining companies, and American mining companies. I'm sorry about the internet connection. Well,
It's a,
you've got some European and northern people trying to go to Haiti and find gold in the ground in Haiti and despising the local population living there. So I'm working right now on a TV series, maybe a Netflix series, talking about these kind of topics right now. And I'm trying to find money and find producers and finding the way to do it based on this short film on 3 blades right now, actually.
very well. Okay, so I think we're running low on time now. So Riyadh, do you have any closing comments? Anything that you'd like to impart to an aspiring filmmaker? What would you say to an aspiring filmmaker? You're a young guy. You're a really young guy. So
Well,
well,
thanks to you for that. I don't know exactly what it is, but Uh, well, the movie we're doing, and I think Riyadh will agree with me. The movies we're doing are very important. Right now, I'm in Paris, in France, in Europe, and it was so important for us to be selected and to be screened at your festival in Trinidad that we made an arrangement. We called everyone in the crew. All right, so I'm right there. It's 1 o'clock in the morning in Paris because of the jet lag,
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm here with the DOP of the movie. All right, the continuity
photography,
girl of the
okay.
movie, the first camera assistant, and we're just like enjoying the fact that the movie is being screened overseas and international as important as Trinidad.
Okay, Matthieu, I'm sorry. I think we just lost you there. Riyadh, briefly, please. You're a young guy. You're a young filmmaker. What sort of advice would you have for an aspiring filmmaker, somebody who wants to craft his or her own bit of magic?
Um, I, I would just say just do it. You know, don't wait for the perfect moment or for the perfect gear and stuff like that. I was definitely like that at that time, and you know, a lot of people, younger people who watch my videos, you know, they say I inspire them as well with the stuff that I'm doing, and people who love filmmaking well as well, they watch my stuff, and uh, I mean, my advice really would be to just do it because for me, the stuff that I've done has all been like no budget, you know? I haven't had a crew or anything like that with all my productions in Trinidad. They've all been with my family and friends. Two of my films, the film I did a horror last year, which was Dalagahu, and the year before that was called Paranoia. And both of those films uh, screened in Movietown and then last year in Napa. And both of those films, the phone that I'm actually on right now is what was used to film those, you know? Um, and only last year I was able to finally get my first DSLR. So I mean, I'm always about like uh, utilizing the scarce resources that you have and trying to maximize, you know, your creativity with the little that you have, you know. And a lot of people that are internet as well, they don't have all the gear and you know people and actors and crew and all that kind of stuff. They just have themselves and their passion and their drive, you know. And you know, it's
And that's
cliche,
what you
but I
really
guess
need. You need to have the drive and the passion.
yeah, I
Guys,
guess it's
I'm sorry. We're gonna have to leave it there for the moment. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Riyadh Rahman for Red Alert, Crime in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as Matthieu Maunier-Rossi for TROIS MACHETTES. Thank you, guys. Thank you
Yes, can
so
you hear me
much.
now, Jarrod?
all right. Thank
Trinidad
you
and
guys.
Tobago Film Festival 2015, celebrating 15 years. Wow. Yeah. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much,
Appreciate you.
Jarrod. I was very happy to be there tonight.
All right,
I'm
then.
sorry about the connection. I'm very far. I'm in Europe. It's late in the night, but
That's okay.
you cannot imagine how happy I am that my movie was in Trinidad tonight. I'm
That's
so
great.
happy I cannot tell you.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Great, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. All right.